Coronation Street actor Jude Riordan has received an outpouring of love and supportive messages from both colleagues and fans after sharing a heartbreaking farewell on social media. The young performer is widely recognized by viewers of the ITV soap for his role as Sam Blakeman. He first appeared in Weatherfield in 2020 as the son of Nick Tilsley and the late Natasha Blakeman. Jude is also known for portraying Tyler Croft in the Sky comedy series Brassic, and he quickly made a strong impression when he joined Coronation Street. Following his arrival on the show, Jude earned the Best Newcomer Award at the National Television Awards in 2021. Since then, he has taken part in several major storylines, including the ongoing grooming storyline involving Megan Walsh and Will Driscoll. Outside of his work on the long-running soap, Jude regularly gives fans glimpses into his personal life through social media. In his most recent post on Monday, March 9th, he shared some very sad news, revealing that his beloved dog Ruby had passed away. Posting a series of photos showing memories of himself growing up alongside the adorable pet, the young star wrote that he never expected to have to say goodbye so suddenly. Although Ruby had reached the final stage of her life, he admitted the loss still came as a huge shock. He explained that the family had to say farewell to Ruby the previous day, and that he stayed by her side until the very end, holding her little face. Jude described losing a dog as incredibly painful and said she had been a gentle and loving companion who would be deeply missed. He added that he hopes her tired legs are now strong again as she runs freely over the Rainbow Bridge. After the emotional post, many of his co-stars and friends quickly offered their support in the comments. Beth Nixon wrote that it was clear Ruby had enjoyed a wonderful life and sent love to Jude and his family. Kate Fitton also replied with a message of support. Bella Flanagan shared her condolences and hoped that Jude and his family were doing okay during the difficult time. Will Flanagan also expressed sympathy, saying he hoped his friend was coping with the loss. Rachel Leskovac sent hugs and love, while Isabel Smith added her own message, saying she was very sorry for the loss and sending plenty of support. Jodie Ramsey ramps up her scheming on Coronation Street next week, as she begins targeting the relationship between David Platt and Shona. After getting unusually close to David, it soon becomes clear that she may be determined to cause serious trouble in their marriage. Could she be planning to win David over for herself? After arriving back home, David walks into the living room and notices Jodie leaning over an armchair with her arm pushed deep down the side. She explains that she believes Shona's missing wedding ring has slipped inside the chair, but she cannot reach it without help. David willingly kneels beside her to try and retrieve the ring. As they search together, Jodie clearly enjoys the moment of closeness between them. A source from the soap reveals that Jodie's expression says everything. Shona remains completely unaware of how interested Jodie actually is in her husband, but she may need to realize it sooner rather than later. The insider also hints that Jodie could have more tricks planned to get even closer to David. Earlier in the week, Jodie is secretly watched by an unknown person who is holding a locket that looks exactly the same as the one she owns. Around the same time, Toya Battersby scolds Jodie for failing to clean up after David the dog during a walk. Toya eventually leaves, and Jodie responds with an annoyed glare before suddenly being distracted when someone calls out her name. The mysterious woman, called Olivia, approaches Jodie and questions why she disappeared without explanation. She reminds Jodie that she once said she loved caring for Olivia and her brother. Jodie seems uncomfortable and struggles to explain herself, raising questions about what she may be hiding. Later, once she is certain that nobody else is around, Jodie opens a cupboard and removes a hidden box, suggesting she has yet another secret she is keeping from everyone. As the week continues, Shona arranges a relaxing pamper session for Jodie to thank her for all the support she has been giving recently. While at the salon, Shona proposes a toast to her sister as Bethany and Maria praise David and Shona as the ideal couple, something that clearly frustrates Jodie. After the beauty treatments are finished, Shona returns home, but quickly becomes upset when she realizes that her wedding ring has disappeared. David joins Jody in searching behind the armchair for the missing ring, but the question remains whether Jody will take advantage of the moment and make her move on him. Dark and disturbing scenes unfold in Coronation Street as Theo shockingly threatens Todd with a knife during a heated confrontation. What was meant to be a joyful occasion for the couple as they marked Theo's birthday soon turned sour. His unrealistic expectations, controlling attitude, manipulative behavior, and volatile temper quickly caused the celebration to spiral out of control. Todd had bought Theo a blender as a birthday present, believing it would suit his partner's interest in fitness and healthy living. However, the gift clearly failed to impress Theo despite Todd explaining the thought behind it. The situation was made worse by the fact that Todd had to ask Theo for money to purchase the present. Theo only handed him £200 and warned that the amount also needed to cover the cost of their birthday dinner, leaving Todd with very little room to make things special. From the beginning, it seemed as though Todd had been set up to disappoint. Theo made his disapproval obvious and spent the rest of the day making sarcastic remarks about the gift. Theo's frustration grew even more when Todd arrived late to his birthday dinner at the bistro after being delayed by an issue at work. Wanting to get back at him, Theo ordered the most expensive bottle of wine available and ran up a huge bill. The cost increased further when he insisted they also pay for Gary Windus and Maria Connor's meals. When he said they, it was clear that he expected Todd to handle the payment. Viewers may remember that Theo previously tightened his control over Todd by taking charge of his bank account and destroying his cards. He claimed this was necessary after discovering Todd's credit card bill and insisted he was simply trying to manage their finances better. Although Theo told Todd he could ask for money whenever he needed it, the situation became difficult when Theo disappeared for a week, leaving Todd with no way to access any funds. During the latest episode, when the bill arrived, Todd was forced to admit that he didn't have enough money to cover it. This left Theo furious that he had to pay the bill himself on his own birthday. Naturally, Theo refused to accept that his own behavior had created the problem. Instead, he even suggested Todd should have paid with a card rather than cash, which only added to Todd's frustration. By the time they returned home, Theo had been drinking heavily and was clearly in a foul mood. Todd gently asked him not to have any more alcohol that night. This request only made Theo more angry, prompting him to complain loudly about how awful his birthday had been. When Todd offered to prepare some coffee to calm things down, Theo's anger escalated. He began throwing mugs and containers across the kitchen while Todd watched in shock. As Theo rummaged through a drawer looking for spoons, Todd stepped forward in an attempt to soothe him, but the situation suddenly became far more frightening when Theo grabbed a knife and pointed it at him. Todd's response was heartbreaking as he told Theo to go ahead and use the knife, saying it might finally end his misery because he could not continue living in such a toxic and frightening situation. The moment raises a huge question about what will happen next. Could this terrifying incident finally make Theo realize how dangerous his behavior has become, or will Todd manage to find the strength to leave before he is hurt again? Coronation Street airs on weeknights at 8:30 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available to stream on ITVX.